I want to tell you a little bit about how we turned a neglected property into a dream home and help fix a block in a neighborhood. All right. So, again, we got this from one of our direct mail campaigns. I've said it before, right? Like, if you ever gotten mail and it says we want to buy your house or we'll offer you cash for your house, all right, people get really mad. Like, where are you targeting me? We're not targeting you. We're sending out 10,000, 20,000 pieces of mail. We're hitting the whole neighborhood. Okay. Don't take it personal. If you're not looking to sell your house, chuck it. We're not directing it towards you. We just know that we want to try to buy a house in this neighborhood for this is where our workers are ready to work, and we're sending out letters. That's all it is. All right. Please don't take it personal. But we sent out a letter and we got a phone call from this young woman. It says, "Hey, I have a house in Suffolk, Virginia, and I would like to sell it. I live in New York and I can't get to it. It's my dad's old house." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So tell me a little bit about the house because I don't know. My dad's been dead 7 years, right?" I'm like, "Okay. So who's been living in the house, since then?" "Nobody." Like, seriously? Like, yes. She goes, "I haven't been there since I was a little kid. My dad moved us up here to New York, and we've been here. That's the house he grew up in, and then he went back down to there, and he lived there until he died, right? So can you go, give us an offer?" I said, "All right, well, let me go take a look at it." So we drove out there, and we got on the phone with her. I said, "All right, well, the door's locked. Do you have keys?" She goes, "Nope, there's nothing you're gonna do." So I said, "You're giving me, the right to get a locksmith." So I hired a locksmith, and we got in, and the house was a museum. Okay, it was a museum. It was empty, but it hadn't been touched in at least 7 years. Hadn't been Door hadn't been opened. Nothing. All right. The only reason it wasn't filled with squatters is because they had good neighbors. All right. And so we're in there, and the old neighbors come, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're trying. We're looking at it. We were contacting." They're like, "Thank goodness." All right, because this house has been a vacant bane on our block for years. And they're like, "Also, take a look up at the roof. There's a hole in the roof, and animals are getting in and out of there, right?" Well, once we got in the house, all right, it's like a museum of bats. Okay, the house had been taken over by an estimated 20,000 bats. Okay, there were dead bats on the floor. There's bat droppings everywhere. I mean, it was just bat mania. Okay, unbelievable. I've never seen a house like that before in my life. The ceilings had been so filled with bat dung and bat droppings and bat urine that they fell on the floor. It was disgusting. Okay, um, we bought it. So I reach out to her and I say, "All right, here's our number. The house is in terrible shape." She's like, "That's too low." I said, "Would you like to see some pictures?" And I sent her some pictures of the house. And I said, "This house is going to take us like $150,000. All right, just to bring it up to like a livable code. All right, it needs new roof, new walls, new sidings. All right, we have to environmentally and properly get rid of the bats. We have to do all it. It's this is not a small project." She's like, "Oh my goodness, I haven't seen the house in years." And right, but now we're, the city of Suffolk is sending us paperwork, and we've got to do it. And like, we can't deal with this house. I've never been there. I don't want to go there. Yada yada yada. I'm like, "All right, well, if this is what you want to do, I'll email you some paperwork. You look at it, take your time. Again, there's no rush. Academy Home Buyers is the no rush team. Okay, I don't pressure anybody to work with me. You don't want to work with me? Go home. I don't care." All right. So I said, "Take a look at it. No big deal." All right. About 2 or 3 days later, she gives me a call and says, "Check your email. I just signed the paperwork." I said, "Okay." I took that paperwork. I took it over to our attorney, and it took about, I think, 15 or 20 days. Maybe it was a little bit longer because there were some title issues because the guy died. They had to get like death certificates and whatnot. And boom, title. This woman never left New York. Okay, she signed her stuff with a mobile notary, and they sent her a certified check right to her house. And boom, okay. And that house is now a beautiful home on a neighborhood street full of other homes that have been taken care of. The neighbors were thrilled, okay, to not have a 7, 8 year vacant home on their property, all right, because they had to keep an eye on it, all right. They had to be vigilant. Otherwise, in the blink of an eye, that house is full of squatters. And squatters, you haven't got problems until you got squatters, okay. So that is a little story of a house that we brought from nothing to something. All right. Until next time, have a great day.